Alright, some vocal warm-ups here. I should actually just say like a hot take that I won't even put in the video. Detroit Become Human was pretty alright, you guys are just mean. Alright, anyways. The Wolf Among Us, besides being an attractor for dozens of imposter memes in the comments right now, is arguably one of the best series Telltale has made, and there certainly have been a lot. Things like The Walking Dead, The Walking Dead Season 2, Galaxy, The Walking Dead Season Batman, 3, The Walking Dead Season 2, Minecraft Story Mode, Borderlands, Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Dead Guardians of the Galaxy, Wallace and Gromit, that was a weird one. But The Wolf Among Us separates itself quite a lot from the other games, and you can immediately tell if I put it next to something like The Walking Dead. Visually, the game is gorgeous, even now, almost 8 years later. Definitely a little stiff in terms of character animation, but honestly, when this came out, it was fucking amazing. I remember I would just sit down and watch my brother play this game for hours until he beat it, and little 12-year-old Josh was losing his mind at how cool everything looked. The way this game was described was neon noir, which I think fits the theme perfectly. I mean, even when you load up the game for the first time, you're greeted with this. A foreboding theme, cool rotational camera on the main character. It definitely sets the tone extremely well. And once you actually get into the game, it's even better. Telltale games usually come under fire for one main thing, and it's that your choices don't matter. If you save this person, they usually die anyways. This affects all of their games, but I feel like where it's least affected is with this one. If you save Prince Lawrence's life in episode 1, he stays in the story all the way up until the final episode. In other games, like The Walking Dead, you'd save Sarah's life and then she dies an episode later, get fucked. It comes extremely close to hitting that one thing I want in Telltale games, and that's an evolving world.
Why even have the choice to help Sarah or not when it doesn't affect the characters at all? No one is affected by this man dying, so why the hell is it a choice? It's just serviceable, okay games, over and over, when I feel like Telltale has the potential to do so much more.
You want to feel like the world exists around you, regardless of if you're there or not, and this game pulls it off the best. Whether that's down to the character design, the choices themselves, or the dialogue. And speaking of dialogue, there are some really good lines.
The white deer.
Do you always talk to yourself like that?
Woody, I'm gonna break your fucking face. Dearie, I'm the big bad wolf.
Big B.
Really? Wow. I've heard about you.
Have you?
Yeah, all about how the woodsman cut you open, fed you rocks for dinner, and then threw you into the ocean. And you can't even swim!
I haven't read the original Fable comics. From my understanding, it focuses more on Fabletown as a main point rather than Bigby, which wouldn't fly quite as well for a video game that really needs a main character. But one thing I know is that the story of the Fable comics and the game differ quite greatly, so I give credit to the writers at Telltale for coming up with a pretty damn good story on their own. The setting also works very well and explains why Bigby can get shot by like 20 shotgun blasts and still keep walking. It's not just the regular world with regular people that somehow have superhuman strength. Looking at you, Clementine, holding back 5 adult zombies at full strength by yourself, piece of shit. There is a pretty big problem, however, and it's one that Telltale games all end up with. Illusion of choice. In the end, none of your choices really matter because there will inevitably be one ending. As I've said before, The Wolf Among Us is definitely the best Telltale game at keeping this problem at bay because they let you turn into a big wolf. Which, I mean, come on, how can you not like this game? What the fuck was up next? Oh yeah, the game is good. Story revolves around Big B Wolf. Get it? Cause Big B sounds like Big B, so he's the big bad wolf. Trying to solve the murders of multiple other Fable fairy tale characters in town. Typical murder mystery element, but at least has a better story than Once Upon a Time. Along the way, you'll meet a lot of different characters from different fairy tales, like Snow White, Kenny from the Walking Dead game, Lee from the Walking Dead game, Clementine from the Walking Dead game, and Clementine from the Walking Dead game. During the story, you'll encounter shotguns that don't work, but revolvers that do, talking pigs, talking frogs, humans that don't talk at all, humans that talk too much, persona awakenings, this choice is blank, and the inability to be an asshole to people because you're just so gosh darn nice. Except when you rip their arms off or stick your claws in their eyes. There's also the Book of Fables, which gives you extra info on characters that you do see and even characters that you don't. It definitely assists with the world building, even with some weird choices in how you unlock it.
Cut this shit out!
Didn't your mother ever teach you manners? Or was she too busy fucking whatever breeze drifted through town?
Why the fuck did that unlock a Book of Fables entry? On the subject of fucking, let's talk about gameplay. Telltale, Bubby, I love you, but what the fuck? Telltale's gameplay is definitely a relic of the old days where QuickTime events were a huge factor for them. It was definitely not something that people cared about because the story was fantastic at the time, but it's 2021 now. There are games with great stories that don't need QuickTime events. Other games as recently as Detroit Become Human still hold on to this QuickTime event system. Maybe I'm just a boomer, but I really do not like this system as a main form of gameplay. I don't need it to be a first-person shooter or to be as complex as a fighting game, but maybe something else would be nice. I hate how I can be completely immersed in a scene, fully focusing on the dialogue and what I'm gonna say next, what decision I'm going to make, and now I have to mash Q. Realistically, I don't know what gameplay style you would change it to, and that's why I'm a YouTuber and not a game developer. Would I like a Wolf Among Us game similar to Dynasty Warriors? Yeah, actually, that would be pretty fucking cool. Honestly, I don't really know what to expect from the Wolf Among Us Season 2. Realistically, I know that there are going to be huge overhauls to the gameplay because that definitely seems like a design choice and not something they're incapable of doing, especially on Unreal 4. I'm hoping, honestly, that it's a good story, because having a good story is what has carried Telltale games for ages at this point. If anyone at Telltale sees this video, I really... First off, am very sorry, but second off, I implore you to make The Wolf Among Us 2 into Dynasty Warriors. I'm telling you, the groundwork is there.